We've got Alexander Bublik joining us on the pod today, career high number 17, currently ranked 34. First question we want to ask is, why is every Eastern European named Alexander go by Sasha?
That's actually a good question. I have no idea. We've been actually discussing this a couple of days ago with my family, and we have no idea why. I guess because for me, makes more sense to be called Alex, but it makes zero sense in Russian. So yeah, I guess that's how it is.
When I was talking to you to get you on the pod, you mentioned you were on a vacation. You're on a vacation now, and I assume you were going on vacation for like 1 week, because when like we all go on vacations for like 5, 6, 7 days. You've just mentioned to us that you're on vacation for 3 weeks. One month.
1 month.
Are you?
Yeah.
Does that literally mean you're like not playing for 1 month, or you're like in an exotic location for 1 month? Like,
no. So let's put it like this. So I've been doing the worst season that I ever had, the worst start of the season that I ever had in my life. It was 2022 when I went from 0-8 or 0-10. So I lost like first. So I won my first match against Krajinovic in Marseille. So that was my first, and at that specific year, so before that, so 2021, I had 1 week off. So we played Davis Cup quarterfinals. I lost to Djokovic, and it was basically around 25th November, something like that. And then we had obviously no time for vacation. So we went with my wife, I didn't have a kid at the time, to Dubai for 1 week. And then I could not practice. My off season was horrible. Then I went on, and it was like insanely bad. Like it was super bad. So yeah, so for me, usually the vacation time, I would say I finish Paris, and then I would stay 5 days back home in Monaco, and then I would take 23, 24 days in Switzerland in the mountains without doing anything. So I'm only doing fitness. So of course, I'm walking a lot. I'm doing a lot of strengthening, but I'm not touching the racket until 3rd of December this year, or 1st or 2nd of December. I'm not touching the racket. So it's going to be like 1 month and 5 days without playing tennis at all. And that's been the best thing I ever done in the past year. So I started this year with the win, and the 2022 was the same. I started with like a title. So it was like, yeah, that's what I do.
I like it. Okay, so are you in Switzerland now? You said you were in the mountains. Okay,
yeah,
great.
I guess I can show you guys. Wait.
Yeah, please.
I think it's like this, if you can see the mountain.
Beautiful.
Whoa.
Are you skiing or anything like that?
No, I guess it's against the tennis player rules that you can ski and get injured. Yeah. So I try to be a good sportsman, so I don't do that.
Last question about vacation. Have you ever been to the Maldives for vacation? And why does every tennis player under the sun? Good. Thank you. We appreciate that. We're very
no floating bungalow in the Maldives.
We always make fun of the tennis players because they love going to the Maldives.
And they rent villas next to each other, and they dream of playing each other.
That's it. That's what they do.
And then they post pictures because they post pictures and they tag the hotel because it's for free. I don't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
That's so funny.
You got to go off the grid.
I never been.
He's a real one.
Past 3 years, we've been to the same hotel for the same amount of time. And the first vacation I ever done was actually this 1 week in Dubai. Was horrible, and I'm never going to come back again.
All right. Jumping back into real tennis now. Watching you play, sometimes you look frustrated on the court, and I want to know kind of what part of tennis is like enjoyable for you compared to what part is a job. Do you feel like one more than the other when you're on the court?
Well, let's put it like this. I love playing tennis. I would go and play for hours. Like basically, even now, I'm 27, 28 next year, if you throw me away into any academy anywhere in the world and say, hey, let's play some mini games, let's play up to 11 cross court, I could play there for like hours, like 3, 4, 5 hours in a row. But the problem is for me is that when this society and the environment is telling you that it's a serious job and you have to behave, you have to take care of this, take care of that, you should not behave like this. So this is when I feel like that's because I don't consider it a job. I think that's a joy. That's just a sport. It's a game at first for me. And actually the environment is a bit pushing me into that little, frustration part when you feel like, okay, everyone thinking it's a serious thing, which is not true, in my opinion. For me, it's a game that can end tomorrow and I'll be happy to finish. And that's it. So for me, it's more of the environment that I always try to fight with, to be able to feel good and to enjoy, because I really think it's just a game. just a simple game that you play like a pickleball, or whatever.
That's a sensitive subject on this podcast with the pickleball here. Got a couple members here that are big into it, Sasha.
He knows that.
I know. But,
I know that Jack. I mean, Tommy told me that the Jack is very good and Sam is very bad. That's what Tommy told me in Paris. Like
That's
the
so
Jack
annoying.
is making.
That is so annoying.
Jack is making a ton of money doing that, and Sam is barely, don't do much.
This is Tommy
no.
Paul. I'm a pioneer.
I'm out on this.
Oh my gosh.
That's what Tommy Paul told me in Paris, because we had this discussion in the locker room in Paris, and I'm like, oh, pickleball. I never played in my life. I do paddle, but I never played pickleball. And he's like, oh, but Sam. I said Jack is amazing, playing unbelievable, and then Sam is super bad. And that's it. That's what he told me.
Hey, you know what? At least they're talking about me in the locker room. The pickleball skills, I guess.
ultimately, Sam walked so Jack could run.
That's the only thing I know about you guys in pickleball.
I owe everything to Sam. That is true.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I've always said that he did. He walked so we could run. He doesn't get a good reputation though. He's a lot better than people say, and I fully believe that.
Alex, I get ripped. I'm like way better than what is is portrayed about my game.
And he was on
I've
his
never
way.
seen you play. I have no idea what's bad and good in this sport.
He was on his way next gen. He's going to make next gen everything. Then the Achilles popped on a very it's physical game out there. But he was on his way. He was on his way to great things.
I'll be back.
Okay, all right.
I'll be back.
Yeah, so Sasha, I mean, kind of going back to the beginning of your career, has your mentality changed? Did you begin with tennis being a job at the beginning, as a way to make money, to earn a living, and then ultimately now that you are one of the best players in the world, has your mindset looked back and your overall perspective on tennis changed?
No, honestly, when I grew up, sometimes when I talk to young people, and of course, I'm becoming older, and I consult a couple of young juniors back and forth, maybe by the 15, 16 years old. And all I hear from them is oh, I want to be top 100. I want to win an ATP title. I want to be top 1, whatever they say. For me, it was always a game. I never had this thought in my head, never ever, that I will not be able to play good tennis. So I never had the goal of being a top 100 player or a top 10 player. The only goal that I actually had in my life, but I was already probably about 17, 18 years old, is that I was top 20 juniors. I was top 20 in Tennis Europe, and I wanted to be top 20 in ATP. That would be a nice thing for me. When I was younger, I thought that would be cool, and I achieved that. That's great. But for me, I never had this, feeling that it's a very serious thing, and you gotta work hard and you gotta do this. For me, it was always a game. So I always played, and I never had a thought that okay, that's not going well or it's going well. It was always going like a roller coaster for me. I can win a couple of tournaments, then I could lose 8 in a row. So for me, it was always like this. So for me, I really played the way I play now, so with a lot of joy. And yes, maybe in a certain moment at the beginning, maybe when I be 2 or 3 years to do the top 50, so maybe middle 2020 when the COVID hit, I start feeling it's becoming annoying because of the hotel rooms and all that. But it went quickly to a normal stage. It was really little depression, I would call, maybe for 2 or 3 weeks, months, and yeah, it was very quickly. And then I realized that that's just a game. You enjoy, you play, you never know when it's gonna end, so just enjoy what you do.
To a degree, I think I had like to have fun like that on the court as well. Probably hit some shots that aren't most conventional at times. I think you take it to another level of being a showman and having that fun. You're smiling, you're laughing out there. I feel like having a great time, and people can see it. Has that just always been part of you and your tennis, of kind of being a showman, hitting underhand serves and no-look drop shots and some of the crazier stuff? Or is that something that you just incorporated throughout your career and wanted to be different, I guess, or just enjoy putting on a show like that?
I guess I got this label when I entered, the bigger scene, when I started joining this next gen thing when I was, 18, 19 years old, when this next gen ATP came up. And I got this label because in the past, when I was younger, when I was 17, 18, when I was only starting to play the tour events or challengers, I was never thinking about it. I knew that I'm able to do certain shots, but I was not doing it on purpose to impress someone. And then it very quickly, with the social media, it started to feel okay, so at certain moment, I felt like a clown because it was not true. I mean, I didn't want, because in my world, where I was growing up, within the people I was growing up, it was considered normal behavior because for all of us, well, my father was my coach for many years, and he never played, like he played tennis as an amateur level, maybe like salmon pickleball. And, so, and then imagine he would turn me out to top 50 player. So it was all a big game for us. And then the label hit, and said that, oh, I'm a showman. And then, you think that you are this showman, and then you try to do certain things that you really not feeling to do, but you're doing it because the crowd wanted. And that maybe when I had a feeling that it was a little job, but in general, no, I think that I was always like this, and all of these shots, I'm still doing that when I'm just playing tennis with my, friends, just doing mixed doubles or just a doubles amateur with my old friends. I'm still doing the same thing like I would do on the center court of Wimbledon. And I have the same joy doing that on the back of a court in some country club or doing it on the center court of Wimbledon. I feel the same way. This is what probably within me, I would say, like this.
Sasha, I want to touch on the underhand serve just a little bit more.
Wait, should we call you Sasha or Alex?
What do you prefer?
I'm used to Alex because of you guys, because Alexander is Alex, yeah. Sasha is Zverev because there is a real name in German, he's Russian, but there is a name in French, it's Sasha, and there is also like a German name that's Sasha, like literally Sasha.
Okay, let me start over.
So as you wish, guys, I don't care. I've been called both all my life, so.
No, it's good. Appreciate that. So I want to touch on the underhand serve just a little bit more. We all know that you're the king of the underhand serve. I think you've definitely surpassed Nick Kyrgios in that department. When you decide to hit an underhand serve, is that more tactics? All right, I actually think I'm going to win this point. I'm going to hit the underhand serve, or I'm a little bored on the court. I want the crowd to get more involved, so I'm going to hit an underhand serve and see what happens. Or is it strategy, or is it more just I want the match to be funner while I'm out there on the court?
It's more like I'm bored. Let's say it's some tough match, and sometimes your mind is not there, and you feel like, okay, I'm bored. I don't want to be here. What am I doing here? I don't want to. Even if it's a final, like I played you in Newport. I'm like, okay, it's been a week. I'm tired. I don't want to play. Like, I don't care what's going to happen. If I win or lose, for me, was like, doesn't matter. Like, the feeling would be the same. And then I said, okay, so then at least I can try, to enjoy myself more. So let's just hit an underarm. Let's do something. And win or lose in that specific moment, doesn't matter for me. So that's why I do it. And I've been doing it probably since I was like 5 years old. I have videos of, on this little DVDs, on the big ones, that you put inside. Like, I don't know what's the English name for it. Like when my father or mom was filming me, yeah. And then I was doing it when I was like 6, 7 years old. So for me, it's tennis didn't change much since then. So that's how it is.
A little backstory. Before you came on, we were going over some like results of yours and stuff. And we're like, oh, John goes, he's never lost a title.
Well, in a final.
You've never lost a final. And like 3 seconds later, he's like, no, wait, I actually think I beat him in a final in the Newport one.
But to back up his point, we had to, of course, like I play Alex on grass. It's inevitably going to be close. It was a close match. In a final, a big match, but he had, as Alex said, he goes, didn't care whether he won or lost. We took the same flight to Atlanta that day. He couldn't have been, he was just super happy-go-lucky getting on that flight, just lost a final. So everything he says is very true. He really didn't care whether he won or lost that match. He had fun playing, and I'm glad he hit some underhand serves that didn't work out. That helped me win, I think. But to his point, he had a lot of fun out there, and he boarded the plane after losing a final, and he was just fine. I think he played pretty well in Atlanta as well.
No, I lost to Riley the first match, I guess, in Atlanta because it was too hot. It was too hot. It was too hot.
Oh, dude, you've had some legendary moments in Atlanta. You would, on the sideline, you're sitting there with the ice towel and stuff. Yeah, it's tough. So he played 2 bots back to back, and he was still happy with that. He's fine.
Do you calculate risk like when you're playing? Like if you're going into a match and it's 5-5 deuce, are you telling yourself like don't hit an underhand serve? Or are you just like going whatever kind of like pops into your head and like feels natural at the time?
I think I never done an underhand serve, maybe once, like back like couple 3 or 4 years ago. At this certain moment, I'd rather go for a big ace T, with the second serve. Like usually, like not always, but actually, I try to change that a little bit, because the game now, it's, the balls are slow and, it's tough to hit a winner. So then, you try to get more stable, let's say, get more stability into your serve in the game. But yeah, with underhands, I think I'm doing it only mostly when I'm losing, and never when I'm actually winning easy. Like if I'm winning easy, I'm not gonna mock the guy, if the guy is not good enough. And sometimes I even feel, like I played a couple of matches. I think it was a semifinal, actually Newport as well. And I played Jason Kubler, if I'm spelling it correctly. And he was so pumped, like he just beat Felix and Tommy Paul, I think. And he was like pumped up for his first semifinal. And, like he was super excited, like on the warm up. And I turned to my coach, he's like, oh, this guy really wants to win. In like 30 minutes, like 6-2, 3 love double break for me. And then I felt like, okay, so he was so upset that I was trying to hit as many shots, to him, that he's going to miss himself, than not to, make a drop shot or some crazy shot. So I'm not the guy, to really, if I'm stronger or if the match goes really my way, sometimes I feel like, okay, that's not good. I don't like it.
Do you care what like your peers and the other players like kind of like think of you?
No.
I think so.
That is such a good answer.
I think the only thing that matters for me is that my fellow players, my colleagues, call them whatever, know that I'm real. So if I like someone, I do it generally. So I'm not the guy, I will tell you, oh, Sam, text me anytime, I'll do anything for you. And then you text me and I disappear. I'm not this kind of guy. So I'd rather not tell you anything and then, not answer you if I don't want, for example. But then to be your friend and, to hug you on the court, and then next match we play and I do a medical timeout at 6-5 before you're serving. So I guess the only thing that's important for me is that my fellow players think I'm fair enough and I'm the real guy. So if I don't like someone, he knows it clearly. Like they don't even say hi to me, and I don't even say hi to them because I don't like them for various reasons, maybe. But the ones that, if you say that someone would describe me after my career, I would say that I would be the one who was real. If I'm a friend, I'm a friend. If I'm an enemy, I'm an enemy. That's what I care about.
Have you ever like regretted like saying something or being like a little too honest?
No, I don't think I ever been into some bad conversation with anyone, I would say, because I honestly don't remember if you mentioned this, because it's tough to speak to the players because everyone thinks they're too cool and too important. And I guess it's tough. No. On the court, I'm always normal. Like I'm always complaining to myself if I'm doing something. I never touched, my opponent. Maybe once actually I did, and then I came to Dominic and said, that's not what I meant actually. So it was the only thing.
I like it. Let me ask you. Can I ask you one money question? You've stated before you're like highly motivated by prize money, which we all are. I think I am too. Is that your biggest motivator when playing tennis right now? Like just the prize money and the money you can make?
No, not anymore, unfortunately. That's why I say unfortunately, because that was a big drive for me, to make, because I'm coming from very normal family, very just, my father was a tennis coach, my mom was my mom. So it was for me, the first couple of millions that I made was super important. You just kind of, excited of getting a new house, another house, new car, another car, whatever like you always wanted when you were growing up, looking at the big guys of tennis, let's say, driving nice things and living in nice places. And then actually it turned out very quickly that I owned everything I ever wanted. And then actually it was tougher for me to play because in 2023, at the beginning, I had no motivation. I was like, okay, so now I want to win matches instead of making money because I'm not happy. Like not being like not happy, but money is not the main motivator for me. So I want to win matches. I want to try to win bigger titles. I want to try to win more than one, more than two. And then it's actually been a tough moment for me when I needed to work more, because instead of being happy with, 30, 40, 100K that I made this week, I was not happy because I lost the match. That's what changed for me. So for now, the money is not a big mover. Of course, it's an essential thing. But with time I played, I think more important is the wins. That I can beat against this guy, win against that, win the title. So that's more important for me now than money.
kind of when you get that first like big paycheck or that first big year on tour, I know I had some, I'm assuming some of the other guys on this podcast had it. Was there one big like splurge or something you bought that you were like so excited at the time that you kind of regret? Like for me, I always talked about like, I'm never going to do something stupid. And then I bought a car, like as soon as I got my first check, and I completely regretted it. Is there something that you like?
Why you regret it? That's a great memory, I think.
Because I was home for like, 10 weeks a year and I never drove it. And then it just kept breaking down. And so I had to get a new car, but is there anything like that for you where you just went and just were like, this is what I want. I'm walking in and we're walking out of here.
Yes, but I never regretted it. I bought everything I wanted. So everything I wanted ever in my life when I was a kid, I bought it in 2023 already.
Anything cool? Anything like unique?
What's the coolest or most unique purchase?
Coolest, I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I had a couple of cars, but nothing really that excites me now. So that's the problem.
Aren't you a big watch guy? Don't you like watches?
Yes, I do. I mean, I collect them a little bit, but not like that's not the biggest joy for me. Like that's the thing. I mean, we can always talk about cars, places and watches and anything, but that's not what excites me now anymore. That's what I told you, that a lot of things changed actually since my son was born. So yeah, it's like this. So for me, I was buying a lot. Of course, I bought a car, I bought places, I bought another car, but yeah, I mean, I never regretted. I regretted actually once that I bought the car and then we moved to another place and I sold it. That's my biggest regret, that I sold the thing that I bought.
All right, no regrets. We like that. We're transitioning a little bit of like kind of super lighthearted, fun questions. So this is a two-part question. What's one player that you feel that you own on tour and one player that owns you that you really, really dislike playing? You don't. If you don't want to name the player that you own,
Of course I will.
perfect. Fair enough. Great. We love that.
I think Medvedev owns me big time. Like big time. Like I'm not sure I will ever beat him, but I mean, I don't know why. It's been like this since juniors. I think I never won a match against him. And I think Sasha is my guy. I'm leading 4-1, I think. And so, yeah, I think he's my guy. But in a good way,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You beat him in the semis of Halle or the finals of Halle.
Semis Halle, finals Montpellier, Rotterdam, somewhere else. He beats me in Monte Carlo 3 sets. Yeah, but he beat me once. But yeah, I think that's let's say, I wouldn't say own, but that's the most enjoyable guy I ever played in my life. Like, and then I love playing Sasha. I don't know why. I have such a great feelings towards him. And every time I play him, I play well. And even he's laughing all the time when I'm showing up late or doing something. He's like, okay, but still you're going to beat me. So that's what, I guess we have a mutual, this joke that's coming out. But Medvedev owns me for sure. Big time.
Well, Sasha Zverev beat you on clay, and we know you don't love clay. So that one really doesn't count, right?
3 sets.
Yeah, it's a good effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually like clay more than American hardcourt, so that's the big difference now.
What do you mean American? Is there a difference between an American hardcourt and a hardcourt somewhere else?
I don't know why, but I've had one result in my life in Miami, but I had a draw of so-called Tiafo players, and I made the quarterfinals there, and that's the only result I ever had in US, except Newport. But Newport, if I don't make results in Newport, I better quit. So yeah, I don't know why.
Definitely not a hard court. It's not really a grass court either.
Yeah, that is true.
So yeah, which is good. And American hard court is not treating me well. I don't know why. Honestly, like I have big discomfort playing in America because as actually I spoke to you, Sam. You told me you wake up like what time is it? What time is it now in America?
Well, when we were going back and forth, I was like, for people who don't know, we started recording this interview at 6 a.m. Pacific time in California on Sunday.
So wait, now it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Is that 6 o'clock in the morning now?
It's 7:30 now. In the morning.
In the morning, and you all awake and you all smiling and you look like you've been living for a couple of hours already.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually this is when we start with the first thing in America. I land there, and they tell me, "Oh, okay, it's great. It's 10 o'clock match." What I mean, it's 10 o'clock. What is this 10 o'clock? And so for me, it's always a weather, scheduling, food chain, you know, that I can't break. So I don't know why. I hope that one year I'll be able to play well in Cincinnati, which I skipped for the past 4 years, and or US Open. Like, I don't know how to play there. This is the problem.
Well, I thought you played great. I thought you played great there.
Of course, I lost to you, man, when you quit it 3 weeks after that. Like, this is the indication, guys. Like, what do you mean? But you quit it, Sam. After, Jack, sorry. I was like, messed up. You quit it after, no? You
got injured in the next match against the guy that you own, Sasha Zverev.
Yeah.
We all have kids. We wake up at 6 a.m. When I mentioned that, you're like, you told us that your son wakes up at 9 or 10 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Does he go to bed at midnight?
He goes to sleep around 9. No, 9. Let's say 9:30. He's going to sleep. He's sleeping already, and he wakes me up every day here. Let's say on vacation, about 8:45, 9. He would come to me and say, "Papa, wake up."
Unreal.
Oh,
Holy
man.
cow.
Maybe he's been roaming around for a few hours.
Yeah, but I don't know what's 6 a.m. If he wakes up 6 a.m., like, I'm done. I mean, that's not happening. That never happened. So he's gonna turn 3 next year. He's now 2.4, so whatever months, 2 years, 4 months, and so he's already, you know, like, big. He talks, and you know, but never seen him wake up like 7. Like 7 is insane. 8 was the earliest.
We would all love if our kids, you know, for like us in America, it's more like, we all have kids, everyone, all 5 of us. We like, it's more of like, kind of the goal is, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, like 7:30 to bed. Is that kind of the goal every night? That's what we shoot for. But man, my oldest two this
7:30
morning.
in the evening to bed?
Yeah, That's the goal. It's always like 8 o'clock, you know, but like my 2 oldest were up at 6 this morning. So boom. 6 a.m. ready to go.
Okay.
I wouldn't know what a sleep schedule is like, so leave me out of this one.
Brody doesn't sleep that well for Jack.
I got 2 hours of sleep last night.
Okay. Well, but I guess it's all being connected to your lifestyle as well, because when I arrive in US, everyone is out early. Like when you arrive in Indian Wells from Dubai, usually because it's a long flight, and then I'm jet lagged. So let's say I go to sleep at, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the evening, and I wake up at 5 because it's a huge jet lag. And then I see people golfing on the course, like super happy, smiling at you at the elevator. It's like, don't smile. Oh, sorry. Don't smile at me, please. Like, I like, what the hell is that with a smoothie on and a Starbucks coffee? You know. Yeah, so that's
morning golf's the best.
Yeah, that's your life. That's how you live, and that's probably, for me, I don't know why, I'm trying to, when I go to US, trying to, you know, to get to this rhythm, but it's been tough in the past year. So I think I never won a match in August and September in the past 3 years, I think.
Okay, I think I know why. You haven't asked us for restaurant recommendations in Mason, Ohio, Cincinnati.
Last time I've been to Cincinnati, 2020. Last time I've been to Cincinnati, or 2021.
Is there something with American food that you disagree with?
Does someone agree with it?
Yeah, since we think Cincinnati has some of the best food on tour.
Yeah, I think it's great food.
Guys, don't.
Carrabba's.
As Diego Schwartzman would say, have you ever been to Cheesecake Factory? That place is the bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
And Applebee's, if I'm not mistaken, the name.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm the Chipotle guy in America.
Love that.
You and Jack there. You and Jack there.
All right, couple more. Let's go back to tennis. What's the dumbest rule in tennis right now?
I guess for now, like in this specific moment, is that automatic shot clock. We're not fighting against the time in tennis, we're fighting against an opponent. So I think when you have an automatic clock, it puts you in such a cage, because sometimes you end up, let's say, running for a drop shot, and then you just walk back normally, and then you have like 10 seconds to serve, and you didn't even have a time for towel or to look at the balls, whatever you have your routine. I think that's, if to change now, in this specific moment, I would say the automatic shot clock, because before it was fine. I don't mind that some umpires was giving rough extra 15 seconds or someone else. I don't care. Like for me, I think it should be a human factor a little bit more than just automatic things.
I'm gonna change. I mean, same fun, lighthearted questions, but not really tennis specific. What would you say is the best city in the world to go out in, or if you're gonna go have a fun evening, an awesome dinner, and maybe some music, something after, hang out with friends? What's your favorite city in the world to do that?
So with the varieties of food that offers, probably Monaco. And the best nightlife, I would say, in my opinion, I would say Moscow.
I think Stevie and myself and Jack would love to go out with you in Moscow. I don't think Sam's
Sam
allowed.
can't.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say, I wonder if Sam's been out in Moscow before.
Sam's not allowed back.
I don't know if I'm going back to Russia.
You've been to St. Petersburg, my hometown. I'm from there.
Yeah, I actually loved it. The 2 days that I was there.
No, amazing. But if you would stay, you would love it even more.
That place is nice. I played the Challenger there. It was nice.
Because I know the guy who was taking care of you, he was supposed to take care of you, and you would have the best time of your life. I know.
Oh,
What?
what?
I should have called you. I should have called you before my escape.
No. The guy who was about to take care of you is one of the main guys in the entire St. Petersburg. Like he was organizing all the events, and he's the one of
I didn't even know someone was supposed to take care of me. This is new information.
No,
good.
because you
It's good.
stayed at Four Seasons at the time, and so the guy who was supposed to take care of you at that time would be living like a king there for 2 weeks or whatever. You need to be staying there with your family.
How much money would you have saved?
Well, because you ran away.
No, I ran away because they didn't tell me I was going to go live like a king. I ran away because I thought I was going to go to a hospital.
You're gonna live a Russian king dream.
You were going to spend 2 weeks at a $20 million penthouse in St. Petersburg.
Probably. No. Could be. Like I'm not telling you that it would happen like this, but it would be a great time because I mean, you're a foreigner, you're a guest, and we treat guests very good, especially Americans.
Can Sam go back and hang out with this guy?
No, for sure. I mean, for sure you can.
Anyway, that was a fun time. All right, we got two more for you. Like, you got some antics on the court with how you play and the drop shots, the underhand serves, always hitting serves. Has there ever been a player that's like come up to you and like complained afterwards, like, oh, like you're not respecting the game, this is brutal?
Well, after the match, no, never, because I would tell him to not for the camera. But during the match, usually the guys who complain about what I do is the guys who are playing way worse than me and have no career or no future or no something. There's guys that come up with a Rolex watch that they bought on the last prize money from challengers, and then they think they pass the qualis on a 500 event and they're tennis players because they've been drawn to play me on center court or whatever or someone else, and then they complain because they think they're players. These guys, yes, many times, not once, but many times. Like, let's say every time you play some random guy from challengers, and especially if he's coming from, let's say, like Australians, Americans, some South Americans especially, they think they're so cool that, you should not drop shot them or, laugh at them. I played in Halle against this doubles guy, and he was, doing jumping jacks before I was serving. It usually happens with the guys you don't even know, you don't even care. So with the big guys, like why would Medvedev complain when I made drop shot when he's killing me, or any other guy who is, why would John complain when he's top 10 player playing me in the finals and I do 2 stupid drop shots that he takes it and wins the point? Why you would complain? No. You would not, because you're a tennis player, you have a career, you had a career, you have a career, you know how to play tennis, and usually it's the guys who, try to get something else, because they don't have the tennis, they don't have the results, so they try to be cool and nice, or not nice. I mean, they try to say that, oh, you're not nice, you're disrespectful. I don't even know you.
We love that.
All right, Alex, kind of one last hypothetical before we let you go. You have a choice here. You can win a slam or take 15 million in cash right now. Is there one you're choosing, and why?
Slam, because, well, 15 million is, first of all, 15 million you can make. This is the money you can make if let's say if you are a tennis player, you can make this money. You can make this money living your life as well. And slam is history. Joy of winning the slam would stay there, and history will stay there because no one will remember you as the guy who chose $15 million.
That's a good point.
Just the purest answer.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's a good answer, and it's the right answer.
And probably by winning the slam, you also might make 15 million or more off of endorsements.
That's actually another thing, yes. But if we're just taking as a face value, like let's say a slam trophy or a 15 mil, I mean, I guess you should take the slam.
Which slam would you pick?
Wimbledon.
Yeah, right answer.
I didn't think you were going to say Roland Garros.
No, actually, I like Roland Garros more than Australian Open because I just like the everything about it. Like Roland Garros is one of my favorite slams, I would say.
Simple man. I love it. Well, thank you again. We appreciate it. Good luck in 2025. And we're going to come cheer for you. When you're playing in the U.S., and we're at the tournaments, we're coming out to cheer for you. You're going to like the U.S. hard courts.
Okay, great. I'm gonna be playing at 11 o'clock, so that's my thing there.
We'll have already had breakfast, golfed, gone to the gym, much phone calls.
And you will see my face, trying to get this black coffee as much as I possibly could.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
All right,
Appreciate it.
See you guys. See you. Ciao.